Wait. En vivo. Hopper. Que viva México.
Yeah.
Ya lo sabe.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that. I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, be being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican. I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you. Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate
Good
you.
timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Sí, señor. Llegamos a fuego y sin extinguidor. We are Long Live Boxing en Vivo Podcast. Como siempre, Manny Marrero.
Sean the Gringo Hicksa.
Allergy Hopper.
Allergy Hopper in the studio today. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll break it down like it is, like it should be, the way you guys deserve it as a fan perspective. Talking boxing, and more boxing. And funny thing is that boxing is like a soap opera. It's just things happen unexpected, and things are sometimes out of the nowhere. You expect things and maybe don't happen, and all of a sudden things are scripted. And then it all goes down to hell. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
Is it the 135-pound division?
I mean, nah.
Certain diva now, kinda.
It's your boy.
My boy.
It's your boy.
What boy?
We're talking about
El Cash.
You believe that, I know a lot of people are excited and they're all fired up about the slap heard around the world, Canelo plan, but you believe there's actually another rivalry that's brewing involving King Nello, a.k.a. Goat Nello.
Oh, shit, my bad, fellas. I'm on the wrong. I got the wrong information pulled up. This is Allergy Hop screwing up.
Allergy Hopper's having a mental breakdown here today.
All right. Back in the game.
Episode 98.
Oh, 98. See,
in your mouth. Let's go.
Okay. Canelo. I know, I'm sure you saw it. I'm sure you saw the slaps heard around the world. The cut. The
what kind of cut?
Motherfucker. No.
You mean the WWE kind of like sketch?
Kind of. I mean, was it sketched? I know I kind of posted on Facebook that they're trying to hype up the fight and trying to sell it, but the more I look at it, the more I see Caleb. I don't think he was prepared for it. I think he was kind of, he went in there. He knew maybe something was going to happen, but I don't think to that extent, I don't think he expected to get. I don't think he got the back pages in that.
He just got the title.
He just got the title. Hey, I didn't think he was expected to get
payday. You want payday?
Don't talk about my mother. Don't talk about my mom.
Don't talk about my mom.
That surprised me. The biggest surprise for me was, and it's kind of been dismissed. That fool got pushed way
back. Like, damn, Canelo, you that strong, bro?
Big time.
Canelo's already in fighting shape, man. He's already in mid.
Oh, he's ready.
8th round.
I don't think what Canelo expect. I mean, Canelo's been through this, and he's been to a lot of trash talker, opponents, and I think he's prepared and ready for everything. But I don't think.
See, that's the thing, though.
Caleb's never been there.
Like that. Allergy Hopper has a theory that there's actually something that's brewing that has nothing to do with Plant, Al Heyman, PBC, fanboys, boxing Twitter, all the, the good and the bad and the ugly of boxing. He feels that something else is brewing, and it actually involves someone we all admire and have a high regard for.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll touch more on the Canelo versus Caleb plan. We'll preview and everything like that. But I'm talking about a guy who's helping Caleb plan. There's just an individual by the name of Andre, son of God Ward. Now, before I say anything, I'm sure you guys have seen my social media. It's pretty known amongst my circle of friends. I love me some Andre Ward. I'm a huge Andre Ward fan. I waited outside for his autograph a while back at the Shoe Palace at the Parks Mall. I bought his gear. He signed his shirt. that I bought from him. He signed my boxing gloves. I took a picture with him. So did my wife, and no, he was cool. And I remember an interesting story talking to Andre Ward when he was signing my shirt. I told him, hey, this is when he was gonna fight Kovalev, and I told Andre, I said, Andre, don't let this guy come over here, man, and beat our top guy. That's how strongly I felt about Andre Ward. And you know what Andre says? He looks me dead in the eye and he says, "Not on my watch."
Oh, yeah.
That's a true story. True story.
Man, that's a great story, Allergy Hop.
Yeah, it's a great story. Allergy Hop got stories for days, bro.
Got more stories in Hollywood.
So,
bring it.
But no, I love me some Andre Ward. I do. I thought, do I consider him an all-time great? I don't want to go that far because I think he kind of had a short career. He spent a lot of time in court, and then he retired kind of young without actually fighting some of the guys, and I'll touch more on that right now. But he's helping Caleb Plant fight against Canelo. And that raised a lot of eyebrows in the boxing industry. That certainly raised a lot of eyebrows. And for me, I just said, oh, sí, cabrón. You're helping Caleb Plant fight Canelo. Okay. So, and Andre Ward quickly tried to extinguish the fire, the flame. He said, no. There's no beef between me and Canelo. There's nothing like that. He never said my name or anything like that when I was active. And to be fair, Canelo was nowhere near the light heavyweight division or the 168-pound division when Andre Ward was active. So, but I don't know. It kind of like Manny mentioned earlier, it kind of leaves the door open a little bit to a possible Canelo-Andre Ward fight maybe in the future. No?
It's been too long for Andre Ward to stay.
He's been inactive.
Yeah, he's been inactive. Yeah. You lose the speed of the of the game basically. Inside
when you're not training, when you're
not
active.
training, and I'm sure he's training. I mean, he looked good.
No, he's definitely training. He's keeping in shape, but not boxing.
But not boxing shape. And there's one thing that you can't do is you cannot play boxing. And not only that, you're going against one of the most powerful, strongest 168
one of the best pound for pound guy
there is right now. Yeah. So you got to be cautious of that. Now, can he try to do it on a different way? Maybe do it through Caleb Plant?
Probably.
Be careful what you wish for.
And realistically, Gringo, right? Yeah. If he was to fight eventually Canelo, I think it'll probably take him about 2 years because he's going to take tune-up fight after tune-up fight to get back in the game.
I don't think Canelo. I don't think it's in the best interest of Canelo right now, other than just saying, okay, there's a beef going on or something major that happens, and Canelo's like, I'm gonna give this guy a shot. But I think that Canelo may be up for, I don't want to say bigger and better things because he's at his prime. But I think that there's just a lot of stuff that it's gonna it's going to pop up after this fight. And I think, first of all, his focus is going to be beat, Caleb Plant's ass.
What are your thoughts on this whole situation, Gringo?
So, I mean, I have a high, opinion of Andre Ward. I mean, I believe that, I liked how he's, crafty. And, you talk about, a guy knowing all the different ways to beat somebody.
Very smart.
Just look at how he beat Froch.
Cerebral.
Yeah, it's very cerebral. I mean, he's if you could have a mentor, what a mentor to have.
That's
so. I mean, again, I very, I know that a lot of people take issue with how he commentates on ESPN, but I mean, boxing fans hate everything, so that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, boxing.
But I love Andre Ward. So my question to you though is, why do you feel that there would even be a rivalry? Don't you just see it's kind of like a countryman helping a countryman, or
right?
You just throwing it out there.
I'm glad you brought that
or
up.
Is it because
you brought that up?
Exactly.
And then I'm glad you brought that up, Gringo. I'm so glad you brought that up because only here in America is this a topic like we're talking about it right now. When a countryman helps another countryman, in other countries, it's expected. It's common for, especially like when Irish or the Brits or the Filipinos or everybody, they all help each other out. It's
help and support.
It's different. It's different. It's different here in the States.
You can help different.
It's like sometimes it's taboo to even support your fellow. It's just different. I don't know. I don't know what it is. The stigma with Americans helping Americans out. It just I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure you've.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some significance to it. I mean, if you want to kind of dig deep, I mean, they're not from the same region. Americans are very territorial in regards of, they're from my city.
Exactly.
So it's not just that they're American, but maybe they're from the same, but they're not even under the same banner. I mean, Andre Ward worked for Top Rank, Caleb Plant worked for PBC.
Your favorite
There's
house.
no connection there. So the only really connection I have, like, is what we're talking about is the fact that they're American fighters. And do you think that it's coming from a good place that Andre Ward wants to help Caleb Plant be the best he can be, or he wants anybody? It comes from a dark place, and he wants anybody to beat Canelo, and he wants to be a part of it.
Well, see, I think, and the thing about it is, Andre is the one that's mentioning Canelo. Canelo has, I don't think he's yet to give him the time of day to say anything about Andre Ward. I think it's just Andre trying to keep his name in the limelight, probably. I'm sure he likes it. I'm sure he likes being associated with Canelo, and he likes to go in there. And you know what? The production video that they made, it wasn't cheap. So him and Caleb playing with the whole training video they made, it was very high production,
high quality.
So they spent the grip on it.
I think there's more to this, and probably maybe this could be a start for Andre Ward to go a different path. Rather being a commentator, I don't see him going back to boxing, but maybe he could be a possible future trainer. Maybe he wants to explore, and this is the opportunity. This is a chance. Who knows? Countryman versus countryman. That's a great point to Gringo brought on board.
I think he'd make a great trainer.
I do too. He had a stellar career. I mean, undefeated, 32 fights. Did he fight the best at the light heavyweight? I think he did. There was no one else there that could possibly beat him. You're absolutely right. He spent a lot of time away from boxing, dealing with some personal situations.
Well, he was trying to get out of that
the contract.
Yeah.
And after all, I mean, he fought Kovalev, and then he fought Kovalev again, and then he destroyed him, knocked him out in the 8th round. So he didn't have anything to prove at that particular time. Son of God. He's done everything he could possibly do, and then he went on to bigger and better things after boxing.
Why did he retire though so early though?
I just don't think
myself.
I do, but the next level for that would be what? The heavyweight, the cruiserweights.
No,
I don't think he can get a cruiserweight.
That's not the next level. The next
he could have gone down.
No, the next level would have been defending your championship against some of these guys that were coming up. See, I have a theory, and I love me some Andre Ward, but I'm gonna keep it real.
But you
keep
can't.
It real. No, hold on, Manny, hold on.
Who are the guys coming up? It wasn't any of the big interest for him.
Oh, there was a lot of guys coming up, Manny. Alexander Vasquez. At the time, this is when he retired. These are the rankings. Number 4, Danelle, Alexander Vasdik. Sullivan Barrera, number 5. Beaterbeef, number 7. Bivol, number 9. Joe Smith Jr., number 10. Superman Stevenson, number 1. These are killers. These are killers that were coming for the crown, and I don't think Andre would have wanted any of that smoke.
I think you're wrong. I think right now, at that time, it's like you telling Canelo right now, you got to fight. I don't know any of the top guys that are
in that division.
Well,
no,
I mean,
there was this was the only fight that Andre Ward, he moved up to 175. He fought Kovalev, questionable in the first decision, however you feel about it. But the second, he beat him in the second one, and there was a lot of guys out there that were coming for him, and I just don't think he wanted that, and he just retired and said, you know what, I don't want to deal with the ducking accusations because that's what it would have been. He had Vazdig on his tail. He had Barrera on his tail. He had, not even mention Elidir Alvarez on his. Oh, he beat him already in the lower division. Beaterbeef, Bivol. How does he handle those guys?
They were too young coming up.
They were already ranked. They were ranked in the top 10 already.
Yeah, but they still needed. For him, it was not a big interest right now for him. He just wanted a big payday. And there was no way that he could have done it. And I think because he had the opportunity of being the commentator and work his craft in that side of the business, that it's an easy decision for him. And sometimes,
he was 33.
it probably a lot more than we don't know. But
I don't think retire at 33 years old.
Yeah, I don't think. I honestly don't think.
Commentator.
I just don't think that is because of the smoke of the people coming in. I really doubt it.
I do.
He's not that type of guy of not only ducking people, but just to be. Maybe it was his time. That's it. I mean, sometimes it's your time, and then we just got to respect that. But just to think that just because you have you're trying to surf and you're surfing on small waves, and then you got bigger waves, you're thinking those bigger waves are coming back, and you're just being afraid and not going to take them, and you've been waiting for that the rest, for your career. I don't think it's that, to be honest. I don't think it was that.
I think it played a part into it.
I think. Okay, again, I'll put that out there. I'm a big supporter of Andre Ward.
Me too.
Son of God. Yeah, that whole thing, but I gotta be honest, like, you don't always hear the theory that Allergy Hop is putting out there. Shout out to Allergy Hop.
Shout out to Allergy Hop.
But I have heard that before, and it has some validity to it from the standpoint of you use the analogy wave, right, Manny? That it wasn't just if it was just one or two guys, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's like a gauntlet right there.
That's a gauntlet of guys. Even Joe Smith Jr. gives them hell.
Yeah, so
that was number 10th ranked contender.
It's not like, I don't want the smoke of one in particular guy, but looking in the mirror, I'm 33 years old. Do I really want to go through that another part of my career of going through all these guys again? And I do think maybe that wasn't the only.
No, maybe it wasn't the only decision, but it definitely played a part in it.
No, yeah,
right.
So would you say that?
I think more for me is that he was not going to get the payday. That
his paydays were guaranteed, man. Yeah. That's the thing. At the time, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he with Rock Nation or?
Well,
he was guaranteed pay. His money was guaranteed. Even again, Kovalev got paid peanuts compared to what Andre Ward got paid. No, Andre Ward's money was always guaranteed. He did a great job making money for himself, marketing himself. Steph Curry came out of one of his fights. I believe it was against Alvarez, and when because he's from the Bay, so.
Yeah. Shout out to the Bay.
So no, his purse was guaranteed. I don't think the money was his stuff was guaranteed. It was about, like Gringo put, the gauntlet of these guys, fighting these guys. You want to fight Canelo? If you don't want to fight Canelo, you want to fight Beterbiev? No, you don't want to fight Beterbiev. You want to fight Bivol, Joe Smith Jr., Marcus Brown? Jeez.
But that's my thing, man. Like that's where
I respect you guys' perspective. I do. I mean,
it's just that I think that it's cumulative. Like it's not like the only reason it factored into the decision.
It could be. I'm not saying it. I'm not completely
because think about it. I mean, it came out of nowhere, right? Like when he retired.
Yeah. I know. But
retiring.
I mean, I think.
I remember when it happened. I was thinking like, he must be injured.
Me too. I was driving. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are you retiring from? I was like, well, okay, maybe he's gonna announce that he's hurt or
he came off a big win.
Yeah.
He a convincing win over a name. Kovalev during
over the Crusher.
Well, I mean, I see this. Crusher. I see his story like almost similar, but not the same. Of why it happened. But I see the same story like Barry Sanders when Andrew Ward retired. I'm like, oh my God, this is the Barry Sanders of the boxing.
Barry Sanders didn't really win anything.
Well, but he was good.
Great, actually.
He was great, and he could have been better. And not only that, he could have brought a championship anywhere else.
I think that was just Detroit Lions ruining careers like they did with Megatron.
Megatron
retired,
and then he retires. But it's more of a franchise kind of issue, right? Deal, yeah. But I think he could have gone to a different team, and then people were like Jaws, falling apart. Like, what the heck? I think that's the same way I felt, and I was in Detroit at that time. I used to live up there, but that's the same thing I felt with Andrew Ward. I thought he had more. I was expecting bigger fights. I was even expecting him to probably maybe if he couldn't find anything 175, he can go down back again to 168. Could he make the weight? Was there anything interesting in that around that time?
Triple G?
Yeah, absolutely. But Triple G is not going to go at 168. Triple G don't
160.
I
mean,
hey, you don't move up from 160. Sorry,
168. Yeah, no. At the time, you had Zurdo Ramirez.
But I'm.
Anthony Durrell,
my thing is, brothers, bringing it back, Hopper.
Bring it back to
bringing it back to the whole rivalry. Now, where's the tie-in though? So maybe he there's some jealousy there.
I think so. I think so. I think it's part jealousy because Andre Ward, for all his accomplishments, just isn't as revered as. Well, obviously, of course, a lot of people aren't going to be as revered as Canelo, but I think maybe he wanted that limelight that Canelo has, and he never got.
That's where I was coming from. That's what I think. It's more of that. It's parting ways with the sport, and all of a sudden, seeing yourself at the position Canelo is right now, and he could have, should have, would have if he would have stayed in the game. Who knows? He didn't stay in the game, and maybe he wants to be part of that recognition. I mean, right now. He's recognized as a great boxer, but he's also looked at more as a commentator. Not an all-time great, right? And that's the thing.
I want to say it's too short of a career.
Maybe
he's my boy.
Maybe now he's looking to a different path in terms of I was a great boxer. I accomplished a lot of things. I went to the commentator, airspace, and then he did fantastic as well. And I think he learned a lot, and I love watching him. I love to hear his perspective and the way he talks about things. And if there was someone that I really enjoyed listening, his thoughts about Oscar Valdez, it was him. I mean, Timothy Bradley, my God, they got to remove that guy. I mean, honestly, I just don't, you can't get angry at people just because you have a different mentality the way you view things. Yeah. But Andre Ward, he went straight to the point, looked at the camera and said, listen, I feel this way, and this is the way I feel. And cool, it happened, and great, but these are my sentiments. And that's about it. You're not going to try to change the world like Timothy Bradley is trying to do. Hey, maybe it's the time. Maybe he wants to explore. He's got good connections with Caleb Plant. I think the opportunity was there to be part of the training camp and help him as much as possible. Did he spar with him or not? I don't know. I think he probably did. It's just closed doors. We would never know. But the reality is there's a little bit of what do you call that? There's a little bit of spark that it's actually lighting up in Andre Ward that is actually wanting him to be. He's close as a commentator, but he wants to be a little bit more closer into the sport that he loved. And I think the trainer side
I'll go ahead and say it because, there's no chance in hell it's going to happen. But if he's able to do anything to turn Caleb Plant into more than I've ever seen in the ring and to be even somewhat of a threat, actually in boxing, not just them slapping in suits, but actually in the ring, then, he clearly needs to be training people because, that.
And that's the thing, though. Why him?
Yeah,
that's
why him?
That's the question. Why him? Why now? I get what you said, and I think it makes sense right now, us talking our perspective as fans.
Yeah, I mean,
but why him? Why all of a sudden? Is it that beef maybe that's kind of building up? Is it just
he
jealousy?
Says they're friends. That's the thing. That's his thing. He says they're friends. So,
but
ultimately, though, what do you guys think? Well, okay, your final perspective on things. Do you think there's a Canelo Andre Ward rivalry brewing?
No. I think there's no rivalry. I mean, I think it's resentment, and I think there's an opportunity where you can maybe get back at somebody in a different way. I think the chance of them fighting, there's no way in hell it will never, ever happen. Yeah. The closest thing to it is for Andre Ward to mentor somebody to, possibly upset the apple cart, maybe not win, but, make a good showing and, maybe make a name for themselves as far as, hey, I got you in one way or the other. That's the only thing I could think of.
That could stab you. I mean, you don't know yet. I mean, you're going against number one pound for pound currently. A guy that has a lot of power.
Not a rivalry, but resentment.
I don't think so.
Resentment.
Right, exactly. Opinion. And for me, I don't think there's a rivalry. I think that what we talked about, it's kind of making sense. Being closer to the sport he loves, like inside the ring, maybe getting the urge of being active in training and possibly moving into that training airspace. That could be a possibility. Or maybe I have slight jealousy inside of me that I see myself as Canelo was when Canelo is at his age. This is the way I think I saw myself. Wow, I could have been something bigger than what I was, and I decided to retire, and that's something that's boiling inside of me, maybe. And he's got the opportunity.
But real quick though, like to that point, that kind of goes back to his resentment and frustration should be towards himself.
No, it is. But now he's trying to show it, and he's not bringing the beef to anyone else. He's not talking public about that. And I think people are actually speculating. But maybe people are right, that they feel what he's feeling, and the only way that he can say, hey, listen, let me try to help because there's a thorn that's bugging me, inside my skin, and I can't get it out. And maybe because of the friendship that he's got with Caleb Plant and maybe the opportunity, I don't think it's the spotlight because he's at the spotlight. He's in every match or whatever. But I think it's more of like, I think it's more like, hey, that might be my open door to see what I can do. Not to come back from retirement, but maybe to be that more of a trainer part of it and start, leading these fighters and, teaching them what he was able to accomplish with the boxing. I mean, that'll be fantastic. When you can take someone and mirror yourself to and start, building other and neuter other people and helping them and, building champions as a trainer. I mean, look at Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach wasn't as successful as a boxer. He did okay. Right? But look at it as a trainer. Look at it as a trainer, right? So some people are meant to be either a trainer or boxer or vice versa. Or some people may have the talent to be all of the above. And I think that right now, I feel the urge of him being more closer to the sport, and maybe that will be the path, and that the opportunity just presented itself. I really don't know, and maybe you guys can answer this question. Has he been? Has it come out that he's been in the training camp every day training them, or is it just sessions here or there? Because I'm only going by what I see throughout the social media. So, Hopper, do you have any answer to that?
No. I think it's
so we're
yeah.
probably speculating from just probably maybe 3 sessions he had with them, or maybe just one day. We don't know. I mean, we've seen a couple of videos. I don't know. Who knows? And the conversation is great, and I think it's worth talking about it. Even better than that slap that was scripted. It was like a great script, but you hired the worst actors in the world. And I would have wished that Ward would have helped him in that sense, right? I mean, Ward wasn't a controversial guy, but I wish that Ward would have said, "Listen, if you're gonna punch someone, don't go open-handed." Right? That's where you can tell it was scripted. I think that Ward could have really just maybe helped them in that side of it as well.
No, well, I mean, you're not going to punch somebody.
You're not. But I mean,
press conference.
Yeah, because you're not going to take
payday. You mess up your payday. But I guess we're all in agreement. No, he didn't slap him open-handed. I mean, close fist. He slapped him open-handed.
A nail, scratch nail.
No, it was his glasses that cut him. Caleb Plant. When he hit his glasses, it cut him in the. But anyways, I guess we're all in agreement then, huh?
Yeah.
No rivalry. No, it's just
no rivalidad.
No rivalry. I think it is just
more of a coincidence.
And I think it's just the timing of it. I do think it's weird though that of all the fighters in the world,
it is. Yeah. Why Caleb Plant? Yep, I get it.
Like obviously, to me, what would get me more fired up, is well, hell, if they were fighting, I mean, I guess that would help. But like if Andre Ward started mentoring, Benavidez, man, that would get me real fired up.
Imagine. Well, I mean, this is the division. He also did great too, 168. So I guess that's more attachment to that, maybe. I mean, part of it. But
so
no beef. Hopefully, there's nothing there, and hopefully that he can really move on from whatever he wants to do. We love you, Son of God. We do. We love you. Como siempre, este es su episodio 98.
Fuera.
Hasta ahorita, 99.